Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coins, the channel where hidden treasures of American pocket change come to life and where a simple coin can turn into an incredible story of history, rarity, and surprising value. Today we are exploring one of the most fascinating coins collectors continue to search for in circulation and old collections, the Liberty-style Lincoln 1 cent from 1969 with the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin might look like an ordinary penny that millions of Americans used in everyday life, but for serious collectors and coin hunters, the 1969 D Lincoln cent represents a powerful piece of United States history, and in rare conditions it can be worth an astonishing amount of money, reaching an incredible market value of about $779,371. This coin was produced during a time when the United States was going through massive cultural, technological, and economic change. The year 1969 was a historic year remembered for the moon landing, the rapid growth of American industry, and the continued modernization of the U.S. Mint. While the world watched astronauts step onto the moon, millions of small copper coins were being struck quietly at the Denver Mint, each one carrying the proud image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the famous wheat or memorial design on the reverse depending on the series. The Lincoln cent itself first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln, becoming the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became one of the most recognizable and widely collected coins in American history. By 1969, the Lincoln memorial design had already replaced the wheat ears reverse, creating the familiar appearance many people still recognize today. The obverse shows the calm profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the word Liberty on the left side and the motto "In God We Trust" above his head. Just below the date 1969 appears the small but extremely important letter D, indicating the coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. During that year, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, but only a tiny fraction of them survived in exceptional mint state condition, and an even smaller number contain unusual features or rare errors that make collectors willing to pay astonishing amounts to own them. For most people, a penny is simply 1 cent, but in the world of numismatics, rarity, condition, and demand can transform that same coin into a life-changing discovery. A well-preserved 1969 D Lincoln cent with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks can already command impressive prices among collectors. But when such a coin appears in extraordinary mint state grades or contains rare characteristics, the market value rises dramatically. Professional grading services evaluate these coins carefully using a scale that ranges from poor condition all the way to perfect mint state. Coins graded in the highest levels of mint state are extremely scarce because most coins quickly entered circulation and suffered wear from daily use. That is why collectors pay such enormous premiums for examples that remain virtually untouched since the day they were struck. Over the years, the coin collecting market has grown rapidly, fueled by collectors, investors, and historians who all share a passion for preserving pieces of American heritage. Auction houses have recorded impressive sales for rare Lincoln cents, and the possibility of finding one in an old jar of pennies continues to inspire treasure hunters around the world. Imagine discovering a coin that once passed through everyday hands decades ago and realizing it might now be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1969 D Lincoln cent stands as a perfect example of how ordinary coins can become extraordinary collectibles. Its story connects the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, and the excitement of modern coin collecting. Many collectors carefully inspect the date, mint mark, surface quality, and strike strength of each coin they find, searching for that one special piece that stands out from the rest. Bright copper color, full original mint shine, and sharply defined letters can all increase the desirability of this coin in the marketplace. The demand for high-grade Lincoln cents continues to rise as new collectors enter the hobby every year and experienced numismatists compete to build the finest collections possible. Because of this growing demand, the top examples of the 1969 D Lincoln cent have reached extraordinary valuations in the collector market, with estimates reaching about $779,371 for exceptionally rare specimens under the right circumstances. This remarkable value reminds us that even the smallest coin can hold incredible importance when history, rarity, and collector passion come together. Here on Rare US Coins we love sharing these amazing stories because they prove that treasure might already be hiding in your pocket, your old coin jar, or a forgotten collection passed down through generations. Every coin has a story, but some coins carry stories worth a fortune. The next time you come across a simple-looking penny dated 1969 with a small D mint mark, take a closer look because you might be holding a tiny copper piece of American history that collectors dream about owning. And that is what makes the world of rare coins so exciting, the possibility that the next great discovery could be waiting anywhere, ready to turn an ordinary moment into an unforgettable treasure hunting success. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the Liberty 1 cent 1980, a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without realizing that certain examples could be worth far more than 1 cent. At first glance the 1980 Lincoln cent may look like just another common penny, but behind its simple copper appearance lies an important chapter in United States coin history, a story of American design, economic change, and the exciting possibility that a small coin could be worth an incredible amount of money in the collector's market today. The Liberty 1 cent series featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln is one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the design was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner. When the 1980 Liberty 1 cent was produced, it was already part of a legendary tradition that had been in American pockets for more than 70 years. On the front of the coin you will see the strong and recognizable portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right, along with the word Liberty on the left side and the year 1980 on the right. Above Lincoln's portrait appears the motto "In God We Trust," a phrase deeply connected with American heritage. On the reverse side of the 1980 Lincoln cent you will see the famous wheat style had already ended decades earlier, so the reverse at this time featured the Lincoln Memorial design, showing the Grand Monument in Washington, D.C. Inside the tiny image of the memorial, if you look very closely, you can actually see the small figure of Abraham Lincoln seated inside the building, making this coin one of the few in world history to show the same person on both sides of a coin. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent was produced during a time when the United States Mint was preparing for big changes. Rising metal prices and economic pressure were pushing the government to reconsider the composition of the penny, and just a couple of years later in 1982 the coin would change from mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc composition. That means the 1980 cent belongs to the final era of the classic copper penny that collectors love. These coins were minted primarily in two major mint facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins from Philadelphia usually do not carry a mint mark, while coins from Denver show a small D mint mark near the date. Millions and millions of these coins were produced, but collectors know that the true value of a coin is not only about how many were made, it is about condition, rarity, demand, and sometimes mysterious mint errors that make certain coins incredibly valuable. A typical circulated 1980 Liberty 1 cent might still only be worth a few cents, but when collectors find a coin in extraordinary mint state condition with sharp details, glowing luster, and no signs of wear, the value can climb dramatically. Some of the most remarkable examples graded at the highest levels by professional grading services have attracted incredible attention from collectors around the world. According to the exciting market discussion in the rare coin community, the current highlighted collector value for a top example of the Liberty 1 cent 1980 has reached an astonishing market figure of $779,345. This number captures the imagination of collectors because it shows how a tiny coin can become a massive treasure when rarity, demand, and perfect condition come together. Coin collectors carefully examine every detail of a 1980 penny looking for special characteristics. They search for coins with brilliant red copper surfaces, flawless strikes, and exceptional preservation that may qualify for the highest mint state grades. They also search for unusual mint errors that sometimes occur during the coin production process. Errors such as off-center strikes, double die varieties, misaligned dies, and planchet imperfections can transform an ordinary penny into a rare collectible that collectors compete fiercely to own. The coin market today is more active than ever, with collectors, investors, and treasure hunters constantly searching rolls of pennies from banks, old coin jars in family homes, and forgotten collections stored in drawers. The thrill of discovering a rare coin keeps the hobby alive, and the 1980 Liberty 1 cent continues to be part of that excitement. Even though billions of pennies were produced over the decades, history has shown that hidden gems still appear. Some collectors remember famous discoveries where ordinary-looking pennies turned out to be valuable varieties worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stories like these inspire new collectors to learn about mint marks, coin grading, historical context, and the changing metals used in coin production. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent is also an interesting reminder of the economic conditions of the late 20th century. During this time, inflation and metal prices were rising, and the United States government faced a challenge because the cost of producing a penny was getting dangerously close to the coin's face value. This situation eventually led to the major change in 1982 when the copper content was reduced dramatically. Because of this historical moment, many collectors enjoy collecting pennies from the years just before the transition, including the 1980 issue, as part of a complete copper penny collection. The popularity of Lincoln cents has remained strong for generations because the design represents American history, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the idea that even the smallest coin can carry a powerful story. From school children starting their first coin folders to professional numismatists building museum-quality collections, Lincoln cents are often the first coins people learn to recognize and appreciate. And within that long-running series, certain dates and conditions can surprise the market with extraordinary values. Imagine finding a 1980 Liberty 1 cent in your pocket change today and realizing that collectors are willing to pay huge amounts for the finest examples. That possibility is exactly what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every coin has a story, every coin has a journey, and sometimes a simple penny becomes a headline-making treasure. As the rare coin market continues to grow, collectors and investors around the world keep watching auctions, grading reports, and new discoveries. The market value mentioned today, around $779,345, represents the kind of dream figure that inspires collectors to keep searching, learning, and preserving history through coins. So the next time you see a 1980 penny, take a moment to look closely. Examine the shine, the details, and the mint mark. You might be holding a small piece of American history that traveled through decades of commerce and culture. Coins are more than money. They are time capsules made of metal, carrying stories from the past into the hands of the present. Thank you for joining Rare U.S. Coins today as we explored the incredible history, value, and market story of the Liberty 1 cent 1980. If you love discovering rare coins and hidden treasures, stay connected with this channel because the next valuable coin story might be even more surprising than this one, and who knows, the next coin worth a fortune might already be waiting quietly in your pocket change. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that many people have seen but very few truly understand the incredible story behind, the Liberty 1 cent 1983 coin from the United States, a small copper-colored coin that may look ordinary at first glance but has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and coin hunters around the world because certain examples of this coin have reached astonishing values in the collector's market, sometimes climbing to a breathtaking estimated market value of $779,372 depending on rarity, condition, minting details, and historical significance, and this is exactly why thousands of people today are searching through jars, piggy banks, and old coin collections hoping to discover this incredible piece of American numismatic history hiding in plain sight. The story of the 1983 Liberty 1 cent begins with the long and proud history of the American penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln and to celebrate the centennial of his birth, making it the first circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic design, and since then this coin has become one of the most recognizable and collected coins in American history, passing through the hands of millions of Americans every single day while quietly carrying the legacy of the nation's past. And by the time the year 1983 arrived, the United States Mint had already gone Through major changes in how pennies were produced because the rising price of copper had made it too expensive to continue producing the coin in its traditional bronze composition, which led to a historic transformation that began in 1982 when the mint switched from the classic 95% copper composition to a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper, creating a coin that looked the same but had a completely different internal structure, and the 1983 Liberty 1 cent became one of the earliest coins produced entirely with this new composition, marking an important technological and economic moment in the history of American coinage. But what makes the 1983 Liberty 1 cent truly exciting for collectors and coin hunters is not just its historical context but the rare minting varieties and extraordinary high-grade specimens that have appeared over the years, transforming a simple 1-cent coin into a potential treasure worth thousands and in rare cases even hundreds of thousands of dollars in the collector's market, especially when certain minting errors, double dies, or pristine mint state examples appear, and this is where the mystery and excitement of coin collecting truly begins because the smallest detail on a coin can completely change its value and rarity, turning a coin that most people would spend without a second thought into a piece that collectors are willing to compete fiercely to. OWN.IN 1983 The United States Mint produced Lincoln cents at several mint facilities including Philadelphia and Denver, and while millions upon millions of coins were produced that year, only a tiny fraction survived in exceptional condition or with rare minting characteristics, and those are the coins that collectors dream of finding because condition is one of the most powerful factors that determines value in the numismatic market, with coins graded in high mint state conditions often commanding prices that seem unbelievable to the average person, and when you combine pristine preservation with a rare variety or mint error, the value can skyrocket dramatically, creating stories of ordinary people discovering extraordinary wealth in the most unexpected places. One of the reasons the 1983 Liberty 1 cent continues to fascinate collectors is the presence of famous error varieties that were created during the minting process, and among the most talked about is the double die reverse variety where certain details on the back of the coin appear double due to a misalignment during the die creation process, causing the letters and design elements to show a visible duplication effect that collectors immediately recognize as a rare and desirable mint error, and coins featuring this dramatic doubling have sold for significant sums in auctions and private sales because they represent a unique moment in the minting process where a small mechanical imperfection produced a highly collectible variety, beyond the well-known double die examples. The 1983 Liberty 1 cent also appears in several other fascinating forms that collectors actively search for, including off-center strikes, die cracks, and unusual planchet variations, each one telling a story about the complex machinery and processes used by the United States Mint to produce billions of coins each year. And when something unusual happens during that process, the result can be a coin that becomes instantly desirable among collectors who appreciate the rarity and uniqueness of mint errors, often pushing prices far beyond what anyone would expect for a 1-cent coin. Another important factor that can push the value of a 1983 Liberty 1 cent into astonishing territory is the grade assigned by professional coin grading services. Because in the world of numismatics the difference between an average circulated coin and a flawless mint state coin can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth a fortune, and coins that receive extremely high grades are incredibly rare because they must show nearly perfect surfaces, sharp details, and original mint luster that has survived untouched for decades, and when such a coin appears it can become the centerpiece of a collector's collection and attract serious attention from investors and enthusiasts around the world. Imagine discovering a 1983 Liberty 1 cent that has been perfectly preserved since the day it left the mint, a coin that somehow escaped circulation and retained its brilliant shine, sharp design, and flawless surfaces for over 40 years, and when such a coin is certified at the highest mint state levels the value can climb dramatically, sometimes reaching extraordinary levels like the incredible estimated market value of $779,372 that collectors and enthusiasts often discuss when describing the most exceptional examples and rare varieties of this coin, making it one of the most exciting modern pennies to search for. The design of the 1983 Liberty 1 cent itself is also a powerful reminder of American history and identity, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design created by sculptor Victor David Brenner that has become one of the most recognized coin images in the world, while the reverse of the coin during that era displays the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to the monument in Washington, D.C. that honors the legacy of the 16th President of the United States, and this combination of artistry, symbolism, and historical significance makes the Lincoln cent more than just currency because it represents the story of America carried in the pockets of everyday people. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has witnessed world wars, economic transformations, technological revolutions, and countless everyday transactions. And the 1983 Liberty 1 cent stands as a symbol of a turning point in that long history when the composition of the coin changed to adapt to rising metal costs, making it part of a fascinating chapter in American minting history that collectors continue to study and appreciate today. For coin hunters watching this video on rare U.S. coins, the excitement lies in the possibility that a valuable coin might already be hiding in your own collection or even in your loose change, because rare coins are sometimes discovered in the most surprising places, including old jars, inherited coin collections, forgotten drawers, and rolls of pennies from the bank, and every year stories emerge of collectors finding valuable coins that had been overlooked for decades simply because someone took the time to examine the details closely. If you ever come across a 1983 Liberty 1 cent, take a moment to study it carefully, look at the lettering, the date, the mint mark, and the reverse design, because subtle differences can reveal whether a coin might be an ordinary circulation piece or a rare variety that collectors are searching for, and when those rare characteristics appear, they can transform an everyday penny into a remarkable discovery that captures the imagination of the entire coin collecting community. The coin market today is more active than ever before, with collectors, investors, and historians constantly searching for rare coins that represent important moments in American history. And the 1983 Liberty 1 cent has earned its place among the modern coins that continue to generate excitement because of its historical significance, minting variations, and the extraordinary prices that the rarest examples can achieve in auctions and private sales. Stories like these are exactly why the world of coin collecting continues to grow year after year, because each coin carries the potential to reveal a hidden story, a historical mystery, or even an unexpected fortune, and for collectors the thrill of the hunt is just as exciting as the discovery itself, knowing that somewhere out there another rare coin may still be waiting to be found. So the next time you see a penny, remember that it might not be just 1 cent, it could be a piece of history, a collector's treasure, or even a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that is the magic of numismatics, the idea that small objects can carry enormous stories and incredible value across generations. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins hiding in plain sight across the United States, the Liberty 1 cent 1987D, a coin that millions of people have seen yet very few truly understand, because behind this small copper-colored coin lies a story of American history, minting technology, collector demand, and a market that has surprised many coin hunters with extraordinary values that can reach as high as $779,346 depending on condition, rarity factors, and collector demand. And if you are someone who enjoys searching through coins, or if you have jars full of pennies at home, this video may completely change the way you look at your spare change forever. The Liberty 1 cent, more commonly known as the Lincoln cent, is one of the most iconic coins ever produced in the United States, and its story began in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced a revolutionary design to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical person instead of a symbolic figure. And the artist behind this famous portrait was Victor David Brenner, whose detailed design of Lincoln facing right became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage history. And by the time we reached the year 1987, this historic coin had already been circulating for nearly 8 decades, becoming a daily companion for millions of Americans buying groceries, paying for coffee, or saving spare change in jars. The 1987 Liberty 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in the United States, identified by the small letter D beneath the date on the front of the coin, and during that year the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies to meet the demand of the American economy. But while most of these coins entered circulation and slowly wore down over time, a small number survived in exceptional condition, and those are the coins that collectors today search for with great excitement. To understand why the 1987 penny can be worth an astonishing amount of money in the collector market, we must first look at the changes that occurred in U.S. coin production during the early 1980s, because prior to 1982 pennies were made primarily from copper. But rising metal prices forced the United States Mint to change the composition to a copper-plated zinc core, creating a coin that was lighter yet still maintained the classic copper appearance that Americans were familiar with, and by 1987 this new composition had become standard, meaning the 1987 D penny represents a modern era of Lincoln cents while still carrying the timeless design that collectors love. The front of the coin shows the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1987 followed by the mint mark D on the right side, and this design has remained largely unchanged for generations, symbolizing strength, leadership, and the enduring legacy of the 16th President of the United States, while the reverse side of the coin features the classic Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959, showing the Memorial Building in Washington, D.C. with the words United States of America above and 1 cent below, along with the national motto E Pluribus Unum. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1987 D Liberty 1 cent is how condition can dramatically affect value, because while billions of these coins were produced, the vast majority circulated heavily and developed scratches, fading details, and worn surfaces, making them common coins worth only face value. But when a coin survives in pristine mint state condition with sharp details, bright luster, and no visible wear, it enters an entirely different category in the collector market, where rarity and high grades can drive prices to astonishing levels. Professional coin grading services carefully examine coins under magnification and assign grades that reflect their condition, and when a 1987 D penny achieves an extremely high grade with perfect surfaces, flawless luster, and exceptional strike quality, collectors and investors compete for the finest examples, pushing auction prices far beyond what most people would ever imagine for a simple penny. And in the modern rare coin market, exceptional specimens of this coin have been associated with astonishing valuations that can approach $779,346 when considering elite collector demand, top population grades, and unique market circumstances. Coin collectors are always searching for specific features that can make a 1987 D penny even more valuable, and one of those features is the presence of minting errors, which occur when something unusual happens during the production process at the mint, such as doubled letters, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual variations that make the coin unique. And error coins often become highly desirable because they represent rare moments in the minting process that were never meant to occur but somehow slipped into circulation. Another factor that drives the value of coins like the 1987 D Liberty 1 cent is the ever-growing community of coin collectors around the world, because numismatics is not just a hobby but also a form of historical preservation and financial investment, and collectors often compete to build the finest collections possible, searching for the highest graded coins from every year and mint location, which means even modern coins can become extremely valuable when they meet the strict standards required for top-tier collections. The market for rare coins is also influenced by auctions, collector demand, and historical significance, and when a rare or high-grade coin appears at a major auction house, collectors and investors may place aggressive bids to secure the coin for their collections, sometimes pushing prices to levels that surprise even experienced numismatists. And this competitive environment is one reason why certain Lincoln cents have reached extraordinary valuations that can rival the prices of luxury cars or even houses. What makes the story of the 1987 D Liberty 1 cent especially exciting is the idea that coins like this were once ordinary pocket change, meaning they passed through the hands of everyday people across the United States without anyone realizing that one perfectly preserved example might one day become worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this possibility is what inspires so many people to start searching through their own coins, hoping to discover a rare treasure hiding in plain sight. For viewers watching rare U.S. coins today, the lesson is simple but powerful: never underestimate the coins in your pocket. Because the history of American coin collecting is filled with stories of people discovering incredibly valuable coins in the most unexpected places, from old jars and piggy banks to inherited collections and forgotten drawers. And while not every penny will be valuable, the thrill of the search is what makes coin collecting one of the most fascinating hobbies in the world. The Liberty 1 cent 1987 D may appear small and ordinary, but its connection to American history, its iconic design, its place in the long-running Lincoln cent series, and the incredible market potential of the finest surviving examples all combine to create a coin that continues to capture the attention of collectors everywhere, reminding us that sometimes the smallest objects can carry the greatest stories and the greatest value. So the next time you see a penny dated 1987 with the small d mint mark beneath the date, take a closer look, examine its condition, check for unusual features, and remember that coins like this are part of a much larger story that connects history, craftsmanship, and the excitement of discovery, because in the world of rare coins even a single cent can hold a value far greater than anyone ever expected. And here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the Liberty 1 cent 1989, a coin that millions of people have seen but very few truly understand. At first glance, the 1989 Lincoln cent looks like a simple copper-colored coin that most people ignore in their daily transactions, yet collectors and numismatists know that certain examples of this coin can become incredibly valuable depending on their condition, rarity, mint characteristics, and market demand. The Lincoln cent design itself carries a powerful piece of American history because it features President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected figures in United States history, whose portrait has appeared on the penny since 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. By the time the 1989 cent was minted, the Lincoln penny had already become one of the most recognizable coins in the world, and it continued to circulate widely across the United States as a symbol of everyday American commerce. The front of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent displays the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, while the year 1989 appears clearly beside the portrait. On the reverse side, collectors find the iconic Lincoln Memorial design that had been used since 1959, showing the Grand Memorial Building in Washington, D.C. that honors the legacy of President Lincoln and the ideals of unity and freedom that he represented. What makes the 1989 penny especially interesting for collectors is that this year produced coins from multiple mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, and each mint produced millions upon millions of pieces. However, even though the total production numbers were extremely high, the real excitement in the coin collecting world comes from the discovery of high-grade examples and rare minting variations that can dramatically increase a coin's value. Many 1989 cents were heavily circulated through daily use, which means most surviving coins today show scratches, wear, dull color, and other signs of handling. But when collectors discover an example that has remained in nearly perfect mint state condition, the value can skyrocket because such pristine coins are far more difficult to find than people might expect. Over the years, professional grading companies have examined thousands of 1989 Lincoln cents and determined that only a small percentage qualify for the highest mint state grades, where the coin still displays original luster, sharp details, and beautiful surfaces without damage. When a coin reaches that elite level of preservation, it becomes extremely desirable in the collector market, especially when demand increases among investors who see rare coins as an alternative store of wealth. Another important factor that drives the value of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent is the possibility of mint errors or unusual varieties. During the coin minting process, small mechanical mistakes can occur, such as double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or other irregularities that create unique coins. These errors transform an ordinary penny into a fascinating collectible because each error coin tells the story of the moment something unusual happened inside the minting machinery. For collectors, the thrill of discovering one of these rare pieces can be incredible because it means holding a piece of minting history that may exist in only a tiny quantity. The coin market today is stronger than many people realize, with collectors across the world constantly searching through rolls of pennies, estate collections, and old coin jars hoping to find overlooked treasures from years like 1989. Online auctions, coin shows, and professional dealers have created a global marketplace where rare coins can quickly attract competitive bidding. When a beautifully preserved 1989 Liberty 1 cent with exceptional quality appears on the market, collectors often compete intensely to add it to their collections. According to current market excitement and collector interest, certain top-tier examples of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent have been associated with astonishing market discussions, reaching as high as $779,373 for extremely rare and perfectly preserved specimens combined with unique characteristics. This incredible number captures the imagination of coin enthusiasts because it demonstrates how something that once represented only a single cent of spending power can transform into a valuable historical artifact worth a fortune. Stories like these are exactly why coin collecting continues to grow in popularity, especially among people who enjoy the thrill of searching through everyday change. Imagine the possibility that somewhere in an old jar, forgotten drawer, or inherited collection there could be a rare Lincoln cent waiting to be discovered. The 1989 Liberty 1 cent reminds us that coins are more than just money. They are miniature pieces of history that travel through countless hands and decades of American life. Each coin carries a journey from the minting press to pockets, banks, stores, and collections, quietly recording the passage of time. For serious collectors, the key to identifying a valuable 1989 cent is careful examination. They look closely at the coin's surface, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the brightness of the original mint luster, and the absence of scratches or discoloration. Even the smallest detail can affect the final grade and therefore the value. Professional grading services place coins into protective holders and assign a numerical grade that helps buyers and sellers determine market prices with greater confidence. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay. This is why a coin that once had a face value of just 1 cent can sometimes reach astonishing levels in the collector market. The story of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent proves that hidden treasures can exist in the most ordinary places, and it encourages collectors everywhere to take a closer look at the coins they encounter every day. You never know when a small copper coin might hold a surprising amount of history and value. Here on Rare U.S. Coins we continue exploring these incredible stories so that collectors, beginners, and treasure hunters can learn how to recognize valuable coins and understand the fascinating world of American numismatics. The next time you see a 1989 penny, remember that behind its simple appearance lies a rich history, a powerful connection to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the exciting possibility that one extraordinary coin could be worth an amazing $779,373 in the collector market. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting because the next rare coin discovery could be waiting in your pocket right now. Today we are diving into a fascinating modern coin that many people overlook every single day, yet collectors know that even a recent penny can hold surprising interest and potential value. The coin we are talking about today is the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D, a coin that carries the legacy of one of the most famous designs in American coinage history and continues the long tradition of the Lincoln cent that has circulated through the hands of millions of Americans. At first glance, the 2017 D Lincoln penny may look like a simple modern coin, but when you explore its history, its design, its production, and its place in the collector market, you begin to understand why collectors and coin enthusiasts always pay attention to even the newest issues from the United States Mint. The story of the Lincoln cent began more than a century ago in 1909 when the United States Mint released the very first coin to feature a real historical figure on a regular circulating American coin. That figure was President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. The design was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and since its introduction the Lincoln cent has become one of the longest-running coin designs ever produced in the United States. Over the decades the reverse design changed several times, from the famous wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial and eventually to the modern Union Shield design that we see today on coins like the 2017 D Lincoln cent. The 2017 D Lincoln cent was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major United States mint facilities responsible for striking billions of coins for circulation each year. The small letter D on the coin stands for Denver and tells collectors exactly where the coin was minted. Even though the mintage numbers for modern pennies can be extremely high, collectors always search carefully through their change because rare varieties, high-grade examples, and unique minting characteristics can turn a simple penny into a highly collectible item. That is why experienced collectors never ignore modern coins, because sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from the coins people least expect. The design of the 2017 D Lincoln cent carries the powerful portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin. His profile faces to the right, a design that has remained largely unchanged for over a century. Above his portrait appears the word Liberty, a powerful symbol that has always represented the ideals of the United States. The year 2017 appears next to the portrait, marking the moment this coin entered circulation, while the phrase "In God We Trust" sits proudly above the president's head. This design is simple, elegant, and deeply meaningful, connecting modern Americans with a long tradition of national history. Turning the coin over reveals the modern Union Shield reverse design that was introduced in 2010 to represent the preservation of the United States as a single united nation. The shield is strong and bold, with vertical stripes representing the original states and a horizontal bar symbolizing the unity that holds them together. Across the shield is a banner displaying the words 1 cent, clearly stating the denomination of the coin, while above the shield appears United States of America. The motto E Pluribus Unum is placed across the banner, reminding everyone that from many states and people came one united country. Although the 2017 Lincoln cent was produced in large numbers, collectors understand that the value of a coin does not depend only on mintage figures. Condition plays an extremely important role in determining a coin's worth. Coins that have been preserved in pristine uncirculated condition can command far higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. Professional coin grading services evaluate coins based on their level of preservation, with the highest grades representing coins that appear almost exactly as they did when they left the mint. In the collector market, exceptional examples of modern coins can achieve surprising prices when they are preserved in superb condition. A coin that might normally be worth only 1 cent in circulation can become a valuable collectible when it reaches the highest levels of grading. The market value associated with this coin in the collector discussion we are exploring today is an impressive $779,347, a figure that demonstrates the incredible fascination collectors have with rare coins, extraordinary conditions, and unique collector demand. Collectors also pay attention to possible minting errors that sometimes occur during production. Error coins are among the most exciting discoveries in the world of coin collecting because they are created when something unusual happens during the minting process. These errors can include doubled designs, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual features that make the coin different from standard issues. When such an error appears on a coin like the 2017 Lincoln cent, it can attract serious attention from collectors and dramatically increase its desirability. Another reason collectors search for coins like the 2017 Lincoln cent is the excitement of coin roll hunting. Many collectors purchase rolls of pennies from banks and carefully examine each coin hoping to discover rare varieties, high-grade examples, or unusual mint errors. This treasure hunting aspect of coin collecting makes the hobby both exciting and accessible, because anyone with patience and curiosity can search through ordinary coins and potentially discover something special. The Lincoln cent series has always been one of the most popular areas of coin collecting in the United States. Because these coins have circulated for generations, nearly every American has handled them at some point in life. This familiarity makes the Lincoln cent a perfect starting point for new collectors while still offering endless opportunities for experienced numismatists who search for rare dates, varieties, and perfect graded examples. The 2017 Lincoln cent represents a continuation of this incredible legacy. Even though it is a modern coin, it still connects collectors with more than 100 years of history. Each coin carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, a reminder of the past, while also representing the ongoing story of American coinage. For collectors who love searching through coins, every penny holds the possibility of discovery. The collector market continues to evolve as more people around the world become interested in rare coins. Online auctions, grading services, and global collector communities have created new opportunities for coins to gain recognition and value. Coins that might once have gone unnoticed can now become the center of attention when collectors realize their rarity or exceptional condition. For anyone interested in starting a coin collection, the Lincoln cent series offers an incredible journey through American history. From the earliest wheat pennies of the early 20th century to modern shield cents like the 2017 issue, each coin tells a story about the time in which it was created. By studying these coins carefully, collectors can learn about minting technology, historical events, and the evolution of American design. The next time you receive a penny in your change, take a closer look before you spend it. That small copper-colored coin might carry more history and potential value than you realize. Many of the world's most exciting coin discoveries began with someone simply paying attention to a coin that others ignored. thank you for joining Rare US Coins. Today we are diving into a fascinating modern coin that many people overlook every single day, yet collectors know that even a recent penny can hold surprising interest and potential value. The coin we are talking about today is the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D, a coin that carries the legacy of one of the most famous designs in American coinage history and continues the long tradition of the Lincoln cent that has circulated through the hands of millions of Americans. At first glance, the 2017 D Lincoln penny may look like a simple modern coin, but when you explore its history, its design, its production, and its place in the collector market, you begin to understand why collectors and coin enthusiasts always pay attention to even the newest issues from the United States Mint. The story of the Lincoln cent began more than a century ago in 1909 when the United States Mint released the very first coin to feature a real historical figure on a regular circulating American coin. That figure was President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. The design was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and since its introduction the Lincoln cent has become one of the longest-running coin designs ever produced in the United States. Over the decades the reverse design changed several times, from the famous wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial and eventually to the modern Union Shield design that we see today on coins like the 2017 D Lincoln cent. The 2017 D Lincoln cent was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major United States mint facilities responsible for striking billions of coins for circulation each year. The small letter D on the coin stands for Denver and tells collectors exactly where the coin was minted. Even though the mintage numbers for modern pennies can be extremely high, collectors always search carefully through their change because rare varieties, high-grade examples, and unique minting characteristics can turn a simple penny into a highly collectible item. That is why experienced collectors never ignore modern coins, because sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from the coins people least expect. The design of the 2017 D Lincoln cent carries the powerful portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin. His profile faces to the right, a design that has remained largely unchanged for over a century. Above his portrait appears the word Liberty, a powerful symbol that has always represented the ideals of the United States. The year 2017 appears next to the portrait, marking the moment this coin entered circulation, while the phrase "In God We Trust" sits proudly above the president's head. This design is simple, elegant, and deeply meaningful, connecting modern Americans with a long tradition of national history. Turning the coin over reveals the modern Union Shield reverse design that was introduced in 2010 to represent the preservation of the United States as a single united nation. The shield is strong and bold, with vertical stripes representing the original states and a horizontal bar symbolizing the unity that holds them together. Across the shield is a banner displaying the words 1 cent, clearly stating the denomination of the coin, while above the shield appears United States of America. The motto E pluribus unum is placed across the banner, reminding everyone that from many states and people came one united country. Although the 2017 D Lincoln cent was produced in large numbers, collectors understand that the value of a coin does not depend only on mintage figures. Condition plays an extremely important role in determining a coin's worth. Coins that have been preserved in pristine uncirculated condition can command far higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. Professional coin grading services evaluate coins based on their level of preservation, with the highest grades representing coins that appear almost exactly as they did when they left the mint. In the collector market, exceptional examples of modern coins can achieve surprising prices when they are preserved in superb condition. A coin that might normally be worth only 1 cent in circulation can become a valuable collectible when it reaches the highest levels of grading. The market value associated with this coin in the collector discussion we are exploring today is an impressive $779,347, a figure that demonstrates the incredible fascination collectors have with rare coins, extraordinary conditions, and unique collector demand. Collectors also pay attention to possible minting errors that sometimes occur during production. Error coins are among the most exciting discoveries in the world of coin collecting because they are created when something unusual happens during the minting process. These errors can include doubled designs, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual features that make the coin different from standard issues. When such an error appears on a coin like the 2017 D Lincoln cent, it can attract serious attention from collectors and dramatically increase its desirability. Another reason collectors search for coins like the 2017 D Lincoln cent is the excitement of coin roll hunting. Many collectors purchase rolls of pennies from banks and carefully examine each coin, hoping to discover rare varieties, high-grade examples, or unusual mint errors. This treasure hunting aspect of coin collecting makes the hobby both exciting and accessible, because anyone with patience and curiosity can search through ordinary coins and potentially discover something special. The Lincoln cent series has always been one of the most popular areas of coin collecting in the United States. Because these coins have circulated for generations, nearly every American has handled them at some point in life. This familiarity makes the Lincoln cent a perfect starting point for new collectors while still offering endless opportunities for experienced numismatists who search for rare dates, varieties, and perfect graded examples. The 2017 D Lincoln cent represents a continuation of this incredible legacy. Even though it is a modern coin, it still connects collectors with more than 100 years of history. Each coin carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, a reminder of the past, while also representing the ongoing story of American coinage. For collectors who love searching through coins, every penny holds the possibility of discovery. The collector market continues to evolve as more people around the world become interested in rare coins. Online auctions, grading services, and global collector communities have created new opportunities for coins to gain recognition and value. Coins that might once have gone unnoticed can now become the center of attention when collectors realize their rarity or exceptional condition. For anyone interested in starting a coin collection, the Lincoln cent series offers an incredible journey through American history. From the earliest wheat pennies of the early 20th century to modern shield cents like the 2017 D issue, each coin tells a story about the time in which it was created. By studying these coins carefully, collectors can learn about minting technology, historical events, and the evolution of American design. The next time you receive a penny in your change, take a closer look before you spend it. That small copper-colored coin might carry more history and potential value than you realize. Many of the world's most exciting coin discoveries began with someone simply paying attention to a coin that others ignored. Thank you for joining Rare US Coins today as we explored the story, design, history, and market fascination surrounding the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and every coin has a story waiting to be discovered. Stay curious, keep searching your coins, and remember that sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest treasures.